Hey everyone, Ashley here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I want to talk with you all about a deck that recently came into my collection that was sent to me by a lovely friend, and it's this one, Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot, the Reawakening by Avalon Cameron and Anna Torian. I have one of Anna's other decks, the Tarot of the Abyss, and I really love that deck. I love the artwork, the sketchiness of it, and it's just this black and white deck. And this one, as you can see, has all the color in it. I'm sure you guys have seen this one around, and this isn't really an official unboxing of the deck because I've already went through it. I've shuffled it a little bit. We're just going to have a little talk about it. I will read the back to you here in case you have not, or in case you don't have this deck or don't know what it's about. It says, "Welcome to the world of Bonestone and Earthflesh, where myth and mysticism intertwine. This tarot deck is a journey through sacred landscapes and enduring narratives where the hero, the villain, the lover, and the seer all leave their mark. Each card carries the voice of land spirits, protective deities, and the wisdom of those who came before. Bonestone and Earthflesh Tarot, The Reawakening, is rooted in the primal and the eternal. This new edition of the international bestseller by Avalon Cameron and Anna Torian is an invitation to explore, remember, and weave your own path of self-discovery. It is dedicated to the mystics, dreamers, and seekers who trust in the transformative power of divination to reveal their inner temple." I love that. Okay. Now I do know this was an indie deck originally, and um, and now it's of course mass market, and it's made by Blue Angel, which I believe this is my only tarot deck that's by Blue Angel. I have a lot of Blue Angel Oracle decks, and I think this is the first tarot deck I have that's created by them. And I love the packaging and everything. I love that it's like in a smaller shaped box and all of that. And I was amazed by the chunk of this book. This book is amazing. I've already read some of the intro, and it's just awesome. So I am going to show some of the imagery here. This deck is also thick. It's a chunky. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. Like, I mean, the cardstocks, it's still flexible and it's like matte. It really is reminiscent of their Oracle decks, like that same type of cardstock. But as a tarot deck, it really does make it chunky. Here's the backing. The backing is beautiful. I really love this backing. The design. I love the artwork in general. I really love Anna's artwork. I follow her on Instagram, so I really love seeing her stuff pop up, and this deck is stunning. It's beautiful. Here we have the green woman, and that's what's interesting. This is the Nine of Wands. Again, this isn't in order because I've already shuffled the deck, but this is the Nine of Wands, and I really love that each card has a title. You know, it really does have like the legend, the story, or the deity, the myth woven in here. Here we have strength. And if you look closely in the artwork, you have all these animals. You have the serpent here. There's a jaguar, a bear, and an elephant all around her. It's really beautiful. There's a lot of detail. Here's the green man. So you have like those referenced in here, the green woman and green man. Some of these I cannot pronounce, but it's really cool. I actually really do love this deck and how they chose all these different myths, all these different legends, these different deities from different pantheons. I like that it's a blend and a mix. Just like here, we have the god Ra from ancient Egypt. And I love that. I absolutely love that. It's the King of Wands. We have Baba Yaga. It's just so cool. It's so fascinating to me. And I can't wait to really get to know this deck better, to really see how this deck speaks to me and like what I can learn from all these different myths and legends and how it helps me to tell my story. I don't know. It's really interesting. Here's Kuan Yin with the Page of Cups. So very gentle, nurturing, loving energy. It's just really beautiful. Again, I haven't worked with it a whole lot yet, and I've read the introduction, and we're going to get to the guidebook here in a minute too, but I just wanted to take a moment here with the imagery. I'm really excited because there's actually a lot of stories in here, a lot of myths that I've never heard of. And so I'm really excited to dive into the guidebook and learn more about them. I love this image. This one's really beautiful. The serpent fire, Ace of Wands. I love that. Here's the Lady of the Lake, the mighty oak for the tower, feed the birds, Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles, yeah. I love that. Here's Lady of Jewels. And you'll have to let me know if you guys have this deck, what you think of it. Here's the Charred Heart. She Who Is Unnamed. I am so excited to learn these stories. Like, just dive in deeper. I feel like this would be a really good deep dive deck, like a study deck. Here's Odin. Because, like, I do know, like I said, we'll get to the guidebook, and I know that there's part of the stories are mentioned in the guidebook, which I really appreciate. But I feel like if you wanted to do your own research and dive in a little bit deeper with these deities or characters or stories, you could. This is the Ace of Swords, and I love how it's the backing. That's really cool. So yeah, this may actually end up being one of my decks that I do a monthly deck study with, and that I share over on Patreon, because I think that there's a lot of pathways and a lot of like little rabbit holes and stuff you can explore with this one. Oh, I love this. This is the Fallen Warrior, which is the death card. Isn't that beautiful? And it talks about the crows or ravens coming out and like forming. I don't know. That's just really cool. The Blessing, Four of Wands. The Warrior and the Veiled One for justice. Wild Horse, Eight of Wands. And how perfect is that? Because we're moving into the horse year. In Chinese culture, like the Chinese New Year is February 17th, and that's when we move from the snake year to the horse year for this momentum. And how perfect is that to have the wild horse be the Eight of Wands, because that's what that represents. This like quick movement, this momentum. We're really pushing forward. So I really like that. This is the Lovers, Sky and Earth. Three of Wands. I love that image too. Oh, young Merlin, the Apprentice. Earthflesh. Peacock Queen and the Elixir of Life. Peanut for Five of Swords. Lilith. Ooh, the Beast. I love this image right here. That's beautiful. The Sovereign Self. King Arthur. Kale with the Moon. Here's the Fool. The Magician. Here's the Empress. The Sun. There's Eight of Swords. Oh, I love this next one. It's Athena. She's got her horse, and there's that owl back there behind her. That's beautiful. Here's the Lunar Cup. Grandmother for the Hierophant, another owl. I love that. Four of Cups. Ace of Cups. Here's Poseidon. it's just, I love this. You have like Egyptian pantheon, you have the Greek pantheon. It's just, it's so cool. There's just so much to discover in this deck. There's the Oak Guardian, the World, which I love that the Fool, the Tower, and the World all are around this tree. That's really cool. Oh, the Weavers. I love this card too. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Nine of Pentacles. I like the Hermit as well. She's like in this cave. I really like that. Seven of Cups. The High Priestess. Here's Bruxa. So Bruxa is a bonus card in this deck, which I really love that they included it. And it's like the Witch, the Seer, the Mystic. I really like that. I love that they included her in there. Seven of Swords. The Devil. I really like that image too. Two of Pentacles. Five of Cups. Oh, the Elephant Who Mourns. Two of Cups. I love this one. The Morgan. The Morgan's in here. Queen of Swords. I love that. And then we have Eight of Cups. So that's just a quick flip of the imagery. Again, it's stunning. It's really stunning. And now for the guidebook, which is such a chunk, and I love. You guys know, I've talked about it before. Sorry, I'm moving my leg here. You've heard me talk about it before, that I love guidebooks that have a lot to them. Phantasmagoria is one of my favorites. The Isis Oracle, also a favorite. I just love guidebooks that I can really read and dive into and really get to see why the deck creator chose certain things, what story they were trying to tell with the deck, so I can get a little bit of a feel for its personality, all that good stuff. And this deck, like this guidebook, does that. Like I said, I read through the introduction, and Avalon Cameron wrote the guidebook, and she really does walk you through a lot of stuff. She talks a little bit about like what it all means, like why Bonestone and Earthflesh. The Bonestone is the deck, and the Earthflesh is the guidebook. And then she gives you like how to make certain incense, for you to be able to cleanse the deck, and talks a little bit about that. She talks about the zodiacs, like the zodiac signs, and astrology and what they represent. She talks about the planets and like their associations with tarot, numbers and figuring out numbers, like the numerology and what that all means. There's a lot of good information. Like if you're a beginner, this deck is going to help you a great deal. It's a good jumping off point. If you like, she gives you like, I mean, everything you really need, but you could still take it further. And if you want to do more research or figure out like, okay, what does this represent? What does this mean? You can. But she really does give you a great jumping off point here. She gives you exercises you can do, some spreads. She talks about path working, which I love to do with the cards as well. And she talks about how you can do that. So it's really amazing. Again, there's some good spreads in here that are dedicated to this deck, which I'm looking forward to doing. And then you get into the cards. Now for the cards, you do get a card reproduction up here. You get like this little quote or like this main like core theme for the card. So like the Fool is: the spirit seeks experience and invites you to open up to the unbridled world and the myriad of new experiences that await. Be brave enough to leap into the great unknown. So it gives you a good little like message, like short and sweet, like there you go. And then in a reading, she gives you a whole bunch there, and then a reversed meaning gives you quite a bit there. And then you get a narrative. So you get the story of the myth or legend or deity that is associated with each card. And I really love that. I love that they gave that. So like for the Fool, it's Junko. And it talks about Junko is the eternal living spirit, the very expression of life at its purest and most vulnerable. And it keeps on going. Like there's a whole page just talking about that spirit. And then you get correspondences. So she does also include the Astrology Association and the Numerology Association. Then you get journal prompts, and that's for every card. It's amazing. I love that. So each card, you get about that much information. So you get the reversed, you get the upright, you get the narrative, and you get the correspondences. And this is even for the minors, and journal prompts. And that's amazing. That's so awesome. Like, I can't wait to really sit down with this deck, pull some cards, and sit with the story that comes up and the journal prompts. I'm really excited and grateful that there's journal prompts in there. I just think that's amazing. Um, Also, at the beginning of each suit, there's a couple pages talking about the elements. Like, here's Kingdom of Pentacles, and she walks through like what the pentacles represent. And then you have element earth, polarity feminine, the astrology signs, the season winter, cardinal direction north. And then what I really love is that she also gives minerals and botanicals of resonance. So like the stones and crystals that you can work with for those energies, the herbs you can work with. So if you wanted to make an incense based on those, that's amazing because she really opens up this way of being able to work with the cards and really incorporate them into your magical practices. So that's really cool, and I'm looking forward to doing that more as well, and to really looking into that. I kind of want to do this. I want to pull a card for us and then read the guidebook message for you guys. So let's just have like a little collective pull here and see what comes forward for us from the Bonestone and Earthflesh. Okay. Oh, Death, the fallen warrior. So, endings, transitions, there's this transformation happening. There's this need to surrender, to let go and allow the change that's coming forward to happen. So let's see what the guidebook says here for death and the fallen warrior. As soon as I can find it. Back this way. Okay. So this is what the guidebook says for Death, the fallen warrior. It is a time of transformation, marking an end and a new beginning. You are being guided through the delicate dance and the liberation that comes with embracing change. When death appears in your reading, it signals a complete transformation, where a matter is brought to a close and a new chapter, or perhaps even an entirely new story, begins. Death is an evolution, and in our lifetime we may experience many small deaths, times of change and growth, definitive endings that enable an individual to grow and change for the better. Tie up loose ends and put the finishing touches on things. Completing projects or deciding that you have no more to give will prove to be liberating. Know your limits. Say no when you need to. Draw boundaries if you must, and be prepared to enforce said boundaries. In some cases, death may highlight the feeling of enough is enough. It encourages you to break habits by identifying patterns that no longer serve your best interests. Such inspired actions can lead to powerful personal transformation and tremendous personal growth. You may even inspire others through your own healing journey. I like that. So that's the upright meaning. I'm not going to read the reverse meaning right now, but that just gives you a little bit of a taste for what's in here in the guidebook. Now I will read the narrative. The narrative says, ravens circle the battlefield over the scores of dead bodies lying in ruin. The battle was won, but the losses were great, and the time for collecting the dead has come. For one soul, the honor of wings will be bestowed, and so the ravens circle above in search of the most valiant of the fallen, until at last they happen on one. A warrior who held their ground until the bitter end, who stood in defense of family, country, and queen, who had laid down their life for the greater good. Claimed by the ravens, the spirit of the fallen warrior transforms. A new life awaits, one vastly different from the life they knew. The ravens usher their spirit across the veil. There, the spirit of the warrior will be born again, born into a different story with a significantly different ending. Astrology, it's related to Scorpio, and numerology is 4. And here's the journal prompts in case you would like to do some journaling here. It says, what is death? Another one is, how do you honor a passing? What needs to end in your life? Excuse me. Describe your process of releasing or letting go of something that no longer serves you. Why must things end? So there's some good little jumping off points, some journaling questions that relate to that card. And so I'm really excited again to like work with this deck and do more, just spend some good time with it and with that guidebook. That guidebook's something special. And I can't wait to do some journaling off of the journal prompts and everything. So if you have this deck, I would love to hear how your experience with it is so far. So let me know down below, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this little walkthrough of the Bonestone and Earthflesh. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one. Take care.